Les Brown or someone else, I can't remember. And he said, look, it's a negative world out there. If you're not going to be positive, if you're going to feed yourself with positive things actively, the negative world out there will bring you down. It's not like if you don't do it, you're going to stay neutral. No, it will pull you back because it's negative out there. So you actually have to counteract with positive. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're not going to learn actively, you will learn, but what are you going to learn? So what do you need to do? Read books, listen to audios, attend seminars, okay? And you just need to keep doing those things. Again, I can't remember who, probably Zig Ziglar again, because I've been listening to Zig Ziglar for the past couple of weeks a lot, probably it was him. And he was saying about motivational speaking. You know, a lot of people look at this sort of positive thinking thing, you know, motivational stuff and positive thinking. People look at it and they despise it. Look at how this stuff doesn't work. Okay? And so he was being challenged by a person, this person was coming to him and said, you know, this sort of stuff you do, you know, talk to people, you know, this stuff doesn't work. You know, and they were asking him a question. They said, you know, you come, you talk to us, you motivate us, you talk about these things, you know. And so these people who attend your seminars, what are they going to be after 1 year? So this person, they're actually challenging him, kind of trying to show that at 1 year, they're just the same people, they didn't. And what he answered is, say, look, positive thinking and motivation, okay, is not going to make you do something that you couldn't do before. You know, if you're not a brain surgeon, it doesn't matter how much positivity I pump into you, you're not going to be able to perform a brain surgery unless you actually go to medical school and do medicine and do postgraduate degree and probably super specialize and do several more years of neurosurgery before you can do a brain surgery. You understand what I mean? So positive thinking and positive stuff and motivation is not going to make you do something you couldn't do before anyway. What it does, it just brings something that has been locked inside you, something that was there, but you couldn't do it otherwise. You remember, like when I talk about the story of the cat? That cat already had it in it to viciously attack someone. They have that strength, they have that in them. But they had to wait until they're cornered to be able to bring it out. The question is, how can we make that cat act the same way like a lion, even normally? You understand what I'm saying? So what positive thinking, what positivity, what all this does, is it just brings that out. But it is not just a one-off thing, and that's the mistake we make. We attend this one seminar, we get so excited, and we stay for the whole year, we get nothing, there is no other input in our lives, and then we wonder why didn't it make any difference. You attend this wonderful seminar, you have these fantastic notes, you're extremely excited about them. And then you wonder 5 years on, you go back into you dust off your books and say, oh my goodness, these things, they were amazing. How come I'm still the same? And what do you conclude? This motivation stuff doesn't work. But what this guy said, he said, motivation is very much like food, okay? Or like bathing, having a shower. Like having a shower, okay? Is having a shower permanent? Well, it's not permanent. But do you stop having a shower because it's not permanent? Oh, if I have a shower now, come evening, I'll still be dirty again, so I'm not going to have a shower. No, you don't. You have it in the morning, probably have it in the evening, and then you have it the following morning again, and you have it in the evening, and you do that for the rest of your life. Why? Because that's how it works. And he was saying it's the same thing as food. You know, you don't say, oh, I keep eating every day, oh, this eating business doesn't work. No, you keep eating every day because that's how it works. And it's the same with motivation and positivity. It's something you need to keep doing all the time. You just need to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Because it is like food. It's something that needs, if you just do it once and say, oh, this doesn't work. Really, it doesn't work because you will actually die. Mentally. In your dreams, in your plans. They will all die. Okay? So the only way for it to work is it has to be something you do consistently. You need to read books consistently, you need to listen to audios consistently, you need to attend seminars consistently, you need to meet with people, do different things consistently. Then you can say that this is working. I have a little list here of how to cultivate continuous learning. Let me just read it to you really quickly and then we'll move on to the next one. If you're writing down, you can write down the points really quickly. The first one is something that my brother, my friend here, Steve, does all the time. Always have a book with you. These are like tips to help you, right? Have a book with you. Yeah. You know, just have it with you because you always get 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You'll keep reading. Just cultivate that habit, that ritual of reading. And it will help you. It will go a long way. Another thing, keep a to-learn list. You know, so many times we talk about having to-do lists, but we don't have a to-learn list. The program that I'm following right now, the program that we've developed, Steve and I, and that we talked about the other time. I'm not sure if, Ben, you were here when we were talking about that program. Were you here?
I think I was there.
Yeah. I'm still following that program. And among the things that it does, the things that you keep track of every week is what things do you intend to learn that week. And so you have to write those things. And the next thing is, how are you going to learn them? You have to say, are you going to read a book? Are you going to do... So you actually know, you have a list of the things you're trying to learn. It has to be an active process. It's like in school. You know, when you're going to prep, you say, this is what I want to cover today. This topic, I want to cover this topic. I mean, if you don't have that plan with you, you'll go there and probably come back with nothing. But if you have that, you know, this is what I want to learn. But in life, we don't usually do that. As soon as we leave full-time education, the learning process becomes very ticky-tacky, very touch and go, very sort of, you know, it's not that focused anymore.
It's really troubling me, you know, because whenever I go back, say, if we are able to devour these things the way we are doing back in the days when you were physics and chemistry.
And let me tell you, and this is why it makes a big difference. Let me tell you something. When we leave full-time education, when we're out and about, time doesn't really matter that much. It's very unfortunate. Why am I saying this? At school, there is a massive difference between someone in Form 3 and someone in Form 4. It's just 1 year difference.
Yeah.
But in terms of what they have, what they have learned, the difference is massive.
Yes. Yes.
But when you finish school, the difference between you and a person a year before you, someone with a year less, the difference is not that massive. I mean, I'm not saying it could be for other reasons, but in terms of the learning, the amount of focus, let me call it focus learning, that we do outside of secular education or formal education is very little. It's very little. And I think we need to change that mindset. We need to start putting more emphasis on that. And have a to learn list every day, every single week, every single month. You have that to learn list, and you keep checking at it, And in that program that I'm following, the place, it actually tells you, are you good, which seminars are you going? I think on the monthly one, on their monthly assessment, which seminars you intend to attend, you know, and there is that 3, 2, 1 thing. 3 books, 2 audios, 1 seminar that you do. I think that is on the quarterly. I think it's on the quarterly that you do that. So basically, it's just that you have that to learn list, that you're learning in a focused way, trying to achieve something. It's extremely important. The next one is get more intellectual friends around you. By intellectual, I don't mean people who have got many degrees. I'm just saying about people who love to learn. You know, there are those people that you meet, and every single day you meet, they have something new to tell you. You understand? You know, and you've got the kind of opposite people that you know when you meet them, they're going to tell you exactly the same thing they told you 2 years ago, right? You know those kind of people I'm talking about. And usually, the thing is usually not a positive one, unfortunately. You understand? So you don't associate with those ones. You don't associate with those that will tell you every time they come with fresh ideas, every time they come up with something new they've learned, you know, because it will rub off on you, and probably you'll learn a thing or two. Another thing, guided thinking. This is another thing we don't do very often. We read books, maybe we do this, we listen to people, but we don't do focused thinking. And I'm talking about just thinking. Okay? We need to do more of that. Ben shared with us the other day that when he's driving back, he usually puts classic music, and that's his time to just ponder in his mind and think. Napoleon Hill wrote a book, and it's called Think, and grow rich. Think. We need to actively think. Think. Not just allow our mind to go passively and stray into the pattern. You know, there is a lazy pattern of thinking. Jim Rohn calls it a lazy pattern of thinking. You just end up, it's not that you won't think. If you don't think, it's almost like you're dead, or I don't know, you're unconscious. But you go into this lazy pattern of thinking that you're just thinking the same way, it's the same pattern. You're not challenging your thoughts. You're not challenging your what do you call this? Your assumptions. There is this video that Ben sent to us. Is it you? Yo, Steve, you're the one who sent us that video of the guy that, you know, put money in. If I explain it from guest, because she didn't see it. You've got 3 cones, right? They're covered. I open the middle cone. I put a tenner in it. I close it. And I'm telling you, if you open the cone, you take the money that you find. Then I cover it, and then I turn it, and you're really trying to fall. And that guy's actually made it even easier for the guy, because even the colors were different. So you just need to know it was the yellow cup. Yeah. And you just follow the yellow cup. And he just did, and the guy already easily. He said, it's this one, the yellow. And he said, open it. And the guy opened it, and he took it, and there was the tenner there, and he took it. And the guy opened the other 2, and there were bundles of money in each.
Plenty, man.
You see, so it's the assumption. The lesson, to me, I don't know, maybe the other lesson,
but
to me, the lesson was that the assumptions, you know, we normally work under the assumption, because this guy didn't say that there's no money in these ones. All he said is that, all he did is he opened the middle one, he put a tenner, and he said, find the one you open, you get the money. And he did that. You know, but usually the assumption is, even to me, when I was looking at the person, the assumption was the other cones are empty. But nobody said they're empty. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. When I'm talking about this abstract thinking, is sometimes we need to be able to challenge our minds that, right, I'm making this same assumption all the time, but is it really the only way? Is this really how? Is this the best way? We need to, and you can only do that if you are challenging your thoughts, or that you don't allow yourself to go into that lazy way of thinking all the time. So that's another way to really
this one was a quote here the guy wrote. He says, the thing about smart people is they sound crazy to dumb people.
Yeah.
The thing about smart people is they sound crazy to dumb people. Basically, I think the way I understood this is when you're talking about the thinking.
Yeah.
You know, normally if someone says something which is sort of kind of familiar to us, our mind goes into like a same pattern of the answers that might lead to that.
Yep.
You know, whatever the guy said.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
But someone among us might view that in a completely different understanding.
Yeah.
And he tell you something, and all of you be like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly.
You know. Then you have to recap what he said, and then probably later on you come to realize that you know, his option probably was the best one.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think
after he sort of sat down and
because he allowed himself to think outside the box.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, maybe you're gonna get through that by depositing, really, because otherwise that's not gonna work.
What's that?
Well, I say is you're gonna have that kind of thinking if you keep depositing in your bank, because you're gonna always go, you know, to withdraw what you have, you know. So you say to go reading, you know, only junction 10. So whatever's gonna be, you remind but you know this junction 12. If you never know that, so the key is to really find out how many ways lead to reading.
Exactly.
So you're gonna have Stratford junction 10. You have an alternative. But if the only thing you know is junction 10, then you're gonna stand in traffic.
Yeah, but that's the point. All these they go together. You know, you're learning more from out there, from the books and the seminars and the groups and everything, but also you're sitting down and actually contemplating on those things and how you can actually make them work to you is also as important. You know, you have people that do read a lot of things, but what they read is not really much of use to them because they're not really processing what they're reading. You understand? You know, there are things that are actually taught in schools. in schools. Okay, I said they don't teach very well about money, but there are other things that they do teach, and they do teach very well. And sometimes you come into real life, and you start doing it, you can't realize, actually, I learned this thing in school. You know, and this is actually useful. But then because you just crammed it for the exam, and you just took that as information, and you knew it, and if someone asked you, you could have answered it, but it was absolutely of no use to you. You understand? It could have been, but it wasn't, because you did not think of it in a practical, in how you could actually use it. So it's very important to involve and incorporate your mind. Let me continue with this, and then we can always come to discussion at the end. So that's some guidance thinking. The next one is just what I've just said here, putting things to practice. That's another thing. A lot of talk, less action. I think we need to be more people of more action. If you're going to be an active learner, you need to actually start acting and doing things. Okay? What makes us learn so quickly in schools and in formal education is because we are made to do things. You're given a project, you have to do it. And you have a time frame. It has to be done. At the start of it, you have absolutely no clue how it's going to be done. You know nothing. But because it has to be done, you find a way to do it. You go to your supervisor, you go to your teacher, you do this, you call your friend, you do whatever it takes, but at the end of it, you learn and you do it. You understand? So sometimes just doing it is very important in learning. It's not just reading things and talking and this stuff. Acting is also very important. The next one is teaching others. You know, like what we're doing here. I'm telling you, I benefit so much out of doing these seminars, out of doing these, what we're doing like today. Because the more I talk about it, the more I'm sharing it with you, I reinforce that to myself as well. So sharing it with people is not only helping them, it also helps you as well. Learning in groups, like this one, very important. So don't just do it yourself. Social gatherings, it helps. I remember the first time Ben came, I remember you said something and I thought that was really important. I don't know if you remember it yourself. It was, I think, in the other room, or I think it was in, no, it was actually here. And we were just talking and you said, yeah, come here, we learn and everything, but also the social aspect of it. You know, I get this place where I go and it excites me. It's you know, it's that social aspect of it, even if I'm not learning anything, it's also very important because I won't get this anywhere. You know, it's very important. So when you're learning in groups, there is that social aspect of things that you wouldn't get if you just sit at home with your book and on a computer listening to these great motivational speakers or do whatever else. So groups is very important. Unlearn assumptions. We've already talked about this. You know, we have to actively try and challenge the assumptions that we have about the things we do and why we do it the way we do. Especially when we realize that they're not quite working as well as they should. Okay? Another one, start a project. Do something. Just start something if you're trying to achieve something, just start that project. Say you want to be a writer. You know what I mean? Start a book. Start writing a book. Don't wait until you learn everything, you know, because that's another mistake. You try and learn, say, oh, I need to read about how to write a book. I need to see someone that knows how to write a book. I need to talk to before you know, you have a list of million things you need to do before you actually start writing. No, you have an idea, start writing, and then when you get stuck, you'll find a way to learn, isn't it? So that's very important. Another thing is something I mentioned before. Be very clever in how you pick the times to learn. I prefer doing most of my learning in the morning. Also, what I tend to do, I think I mentioned this before the other time, that the things that I regard the most important to me, I do them first in the morning because that's when my mind is the sharpest. That's what I normally do. Okay? So, I mean, I still read, I still go around with my book and I read book when I go to pick kids from school and do this. But usually the time in the morning when I wake up in the morning, whether it's 6 o'clock or it's 5:30, whatever time I wake up in the morning, the things that I think these are really important, these are the most important things for me to learn or to develop or to do, I do them very early because that's when you are at your sharpest. So it's very important. It doesn't have to be whatever time. But if you know that and you know when it's best for you to do something, be clever at it and do that because learning is extremely important. Right? So let's move on quickly. We've got a few more and then we'll be done and then we can have the discussion. So that's about keep learning, reading books, listening to audios, attending seminars. Something you do continuously. Share with others, teach others. I talked about that. Posts on social media. Now this is something is that personally I'm not very good at, and two, I have a bit of a negative attitude towards. What am I talking about? You know, some people are very much out there in social media. Okay? Like, they post everything. You understand? Like, someone will be riding a bike, they post themselves. You know, today I've done 200 kilometers, 100 kilometers. Someone goes to the gym, today I was at the gym and I did this and I did that. And they do that, okay? As distasteful as other people might find it, it works for them. To them, it motivates them. Do you understand what I mean? Because to them, it adds another dimension to why they should keep doing what they're doing. You understand what I mean? So it might not work for you, but it worked for a lot of people. Social media.
Social media, I decided myself, I said, I was not a fan of Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll probably go, but not really. But I decided myself one day, I said, I'll try and use Instagram in a positive way and see what happens. That's how I decided. So I created a page, and my thinking was, in that app, there's so many these video clips or funny video clips,
Yeah.
Some of them funny, some of them educative, but all sorts.
Yeah.
So I'll start a clip, for example, I'll download it, and I'll put that clip with some words underneath it, trying to explain in a positive way how that clip can educate or can change,
add value to something.
You're looking at that clip, but also you're reading those some sort of small words that I've created, and try and interpret the clip and the words and get the logic behind it. So I started doing that. I did put one, and then every week I try to put one. And you'll be amazed. Like now I've got so many, not many, but to me, like I think there are many. Followers. And the interesting thing is the comments they'll put below, and the comments, they'll be like, some of them will be like hilarious, but some of them will be really good. And, they sort of again challenge you to think differently on the same clip. So as I say,
it does. A lot of people use that as a motivational tool. It keeps them at it, whatever it is they're trying to do, because at least the whole world becomes almost like they're looking on you. You said you were going to do this, or you did this yesterday. What are you going to do today? So they have to wake up and go to the gym because I've been doing this. I need to post something in the evening, so I got to go to the gym. You know what I mean? So to some people it works. Talking to friends keeps you motivated as well. You share. I want to do this. Don't keep it to yourself, because sometimes you might be demotivated. Have a clear plan. Goal setting. Now this is very important. When we were talking about goal setting, I didn't mention this, and I said, personally, to me, it has helped me immensely. Because we talked about the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. We talked about the SMART goals, to focus on habits and life balance, and about following a program like the one that I'm following. And I realized what it helps me do is, if you don't have a plan, and if you don't have goals, and you haven't broken it down to what you're doing on a daily basis, there is that situation that happens. You wake up in the morning, and you have this big thing in your head that I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These things I need to achieve.